Everybody thinks SpongeBob is a weenie.
But I'm not a weenie.
One day at Goo Lagoon, Sandy's beating up SpongeBob like a punching bag in their karate match.
She hits SpongeBob and he ends up flying into another guy, a big, strong, buff guy.
The guy gets angry, thinking someone threw a piece of paper at him. He turns around and sees SpongeBob scared to death.
Sandy comes over and asks what they're waiting in line for.
He says they're waiting in line for the Salty Spittoon, the toughest sailors club in Bikini Bottom.
The bouncer Reg decides to let Sandy in, but rejects SpongeBob for being too weak.
He suggests SpongeBob goes to Weenie Hut Jr.'s instead.
And when SpongeBob takes offense to this, Reg corrects himself and says he belongs to Super Weenie Hut Juniors.
SpongeBob tries to prove his toughness and says that one time he stubbed his toe and only cried for 20 minutes.
And SpongeBob heads over to Weenie Hut Juniors, and the animatronic ends up mocking him, calling him a weenie. SpongeBob gets the idea he should win a fight, but since he's not actually tough, he comes up with the idea to fight Patrick and stage it.
SpongeBob and Patrick start slinging insults at each other to try to make it feel real.
But then SpongeBob calls Patrick Tubby.
That hits a sore spot for Patrick, and he ends up lashing out and pummeling SpongeBob.
SpongeBob quickly reminds him they're just trying to stage a fight, so Patrick starts to just beat himself up.
Reg is shocked that SpongeBob was able to beat up Patrick without laying a finger on him, so he lets him into the Salty Spittoon.
SpongeBob runs into the club, but his first step in, he steps on an ice cube and slips.
Next thing we know, SpongeBob's in a hospital with Sandy by his side.
At first, we think SpongeBob has some serious injuries, but the doctor comes in and claims they're just little boo-boos.
And suggests that he heads to Weenie Hut General for his treatment.